Hey fam, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl FaithSimone coming to you with the first of many book reviews. I felt compelled to review the book I'm going to talk about today because it touched me profoundly. Okay, I'm an avid reader, as many of you know, and I don't just rave about a book just willy-nilly. Like, it has to really affect me for me to be this vested in the book I'm going to talk about today. So without further ado, I'll tell you what the book is. It is Small Great Things. Can you guys see? Small Great Things by Jodi Picoult. Now, I am a Jodi Picoult fan, okay, from way back. Like, many of you have heard of her more famous books. Well, this is the most famous right now, but one that was made into a movie is My Sister's Keeper, and another one I think that a lot of people know, you might have heard of Believing Time. Anyway, if you haven't heard of her, get your life, okay, because you are missing out. I'm here to tell you. So what made this book so profound for me, first of all, back up. Let me go ahead and give you the background and the premise of the book. I am not going to give any spoilers. Anything that I tell you is either going to be my own opinion, or it's going to be something that you would know once you read the inside flap of the book or the back cover of the book. So this is just my recommendation. First of all, let me unlock my phone so I can go ahead and tell you a brief synopsis. Okay, so in her highly anticipated new novel, Small Great Things, Jodi tackles the profoundly challenging yet essential concerns of our time: prejudice, race, and justice. So already, let me tell y'all something. I love Jodi so much. I love reading her books so much that I just got this off the shelf at my library and I didn't even read the synopsis. I didn't know what it was going to be about, or the summary, the preview, whatever. I didn't know. So it wasn't until I got home and started reading it that I even knew that it was about race, prejudice, justice. And I'm going to be honest with you, had I known, I probably would have been hesitant to pick it up, because reading a book about justice and race and prejudice from the perspective of a Caucasian lady is just not my cup of tea, generally. So when I started reading it and I got like a chapter in, I didn't even read the summary. That's how much I love reading her writing. I was just like, whatever it is, I'm gonna read it. So when I got into the book and I realized that it was about race, at first I was just like, oh no, God, please don't tell me this is another white knight story, because ain't nobody got time for that. I'm so sick of stories and movies about underprivileged or minority children or people being rescued by white people. I'm just over it. So already when I realized what it was about, I was kind of like, ooh, I don't know about this. But then I was like, but it's Jodi though. But it's Jodi though. Like, you can trust her. Like, she doesn't do anything halfway. So go ahead and give it a chance. That's the little conversation I had within myself, within thyself, when I first started reading this book. And I'm so glad I decided to persevere and give her a chance and see that was my own prejudice, see where she was going to take this, because it is so not a white knight or white savior kind of book at all. In fact, well, let me go ahead and stay with it, y'all. My tripod almost fell over. I'm 4 minutes in already. Oh my God. Like, y'all, I do not watch videos that are super long. So I try to keep mine short when I'm doing reviews and stuff like that. But I'm like, 4 minutes already? Where did the time go? Okay, let me get back to it. So the book itself, like many of Jodi's books, are told from the viewpoint of 3 different perspectives. And I love books like that. In fact, I'm writing a book like that now, my first time, and I'm loving it, okay? But back to Jodi. So it's told from the perspective of Ruth, who is an African-American nurse on a labor and delivery floor. So she's a labor and delivery nurse, and The second perspective is Kennedy, who is a defense lawyer, public defender, and white, Caucasian. And then the third perspective is from Turk, who is a white supremacist, so obviously he's white, and it delves deeper into everything he's got going on. Excuse me. He's also the father of the child in question. So the book starts off, and this is not a spoiler, it's just the premise of the book. If you've heard any buzz about it, then you would already know this. It starts off with Ruth the nurse, who comes in to give a routine check of baby and mother after the delivery. She was not the nurse in the room when the mother had the baby. She's just the follow-up the next day. It's her shift. So she comes in to do a routine check on the baby and mother, and the father says, "Don't touch my baby." Like, she was able to touch the baby. She started the routine, and Turk, the father, and the mother, I think her name was Rachel, they were sitting there not saying anything. But then afterwards, when she said, "If you want, I can go ahead and consult with you about how to get the baby to nurse, blah blah blah," and they were like, "Don't touch my baby." So the hospital backs them and says it's their right as parents to have any member of the staff refuse care from any member of the staff. So they put a note on the file that says Ruth Jefferson. And these names though, oh my gosh, when you read the book, you're gonna see like, okay, I see how you did that. Jefferson, and then Kennedy, it's all gonna come together. But they actually put a note on the file that said, this staff member, on order of the parents, is not allowed to touch the baby. So lo and behold, at some point, Ruth is left alone with the baby. And the baby starts to go into cardiac arrest. And she hesitates before trying to touch the baby. She didn't know if she should touch the baby or do anything. She hesitates before doing CPR or anything else, and things go haywire. So the whole book is about well, I guess you're gonna know going in that the baby doesn't make it, and the parents end up suing Ruth, saying that she was negligible in care or something like that. I don't know. When you read it, you'll see. So that's how Kennedy, Ruth, and Turk all get connected. But the book is not just about social injustice and the prejudice of our judicial system. It's not just about that. It's about the prejudice that all people have when they don't speak up for the injustice of other people. And it's basically the message I took away from it was that racism will always exist. People like to say post-racial America. We are still very, very much a racial society. But it's that the people who have the privilege, unless they speak up and speak out against injustice, then nothing will change. And I can respect her for going ahead and taking that perspective, because she is a white woman, an educated white woman in America in the year 2017. And she had to come to terms, I'm talking about Jodi, she had to come to terms with her own privilege and her own prejudices. Not saying that she was ever just blatantly racist, I don't believe that for a minute, but just understanding that even not being aware of the culture or not speaking out against the cultural injustice, that she's a part of the problem. And this book, I really think it was not written for African Americans. She even said in her author's note that she did not even feel like she could presume to write from an African American perspective and know what it's like to be an African American in a black woman, black man, black anything in today's society. And she did extensive research, and I respect that so much about her. She talked a lot to people that are part of the Black Lives Matter movement, to professors of African American studies who are also black. She spent time talking to people who are at the forefront of this current movement and really invested her time and resources into getting it right. She respected the black culture, not assuming that she knows what it's like just from the way that we are portrayed in mainstream media. Like, she took time to invest and know, and you can see it in her work. The same goes for the white supremacist. She didn't make him just this one-dimensional character. She made him as fully dimensional as the other two main perspectives in the book, and she invested her time and research into doing that. I just feel like, despite all that, if you don't care anything about the intellectual justice, social social revolutionary part of it all. If all you care about is a good read, honey, you found it. It's right here. Okay, let me tell you how this book had me at equal. This is how I was. I'm just gonna use my drama skills right now. This is how this book had me. I'm reading and I'm like, and then I'm like, oh my God. I literally did this. Now, I do a lot of my reading when I'm going ahead and taking care of what we all do and you should be doing daily, our bathroom situations. So I'm on the toilet doing a lot of this, like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And y'all, just when you think it couldn't get any better, keep reading. Keep reading, because there is a twist in the latter part of that book. There's a twist that is so unexpected, and I'm the type of person, I don't even really read mystery books because I almost always see how they're going to end up. I did not see this coming. Okay, get your life. Read this book. Get this book by hook or by crook. Go to your library, download it from Amazon. I'm gonna buy it. I got this one from the library. I'm gonna buy my own. Okay, this is going on my bookshelves as an inspiration for what I aspire to as a writer. This, you got a book club, recommend it, because y'all will talk all night. You might have to have 2 meetings to discuss this. If you have a ladies who lunch thing going on, recommend this. If you just want to have a discussion with yourself, because you will sit there with yourself saying, girl, did you see that? Girl, yeah, I didn't even see that coming. Me either, girl. You will have that conversation with yourself. Okay, get this book. Read this book. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. Small great things. I will tell you this. The title comes from a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King, who says, we may not all be able to do great things, but we can do great small things. I think I'm paraphrasing the mess out of it. But I respect this lady's craftsmanship. I respect her method of getting a message out through her writing. I respect the fact that she was willing to even take this stance, because many of my white brothers and sisters in the literary world do not want to tackle subjects of race and unfairness and injustice. They do not. So for her to go out on a limb and give this subject the respect it deserves, and to paint a picture that was so multifaceted and so three-dimensional that I felt like I was there in the mix. Okay, do yourself a favor. Now I will say this, I told my mama to read it. This is where her bookmark is, page 67. She said she don't even know how much further she can go because she grew up in the Jim Crow South. Okay, so for those of you in that age range, you know, 50 something, 60 something, 70 something, then I don't know, think about your frame of mind. But it's a good book. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. If you want to be just shook, if you want to be shook, read this book. Okay, that's it. Book recommendations with Faith. I'm out. Peace.